Back with Andy and Sean from TuffStuff. So in this episode we're going to carry on where we left off in doing our anti-slip finish on this roof example. So we're going to do it with the exposed granules. We're going to give you like a mineral sort of finish, and on the other end there we're going to give you the encapsulated version of that system. So what we've done is we've actually gone round and we've top coated all of our perimeter edges, Sean, haven't we?
Yes. We've allowed that to cure.
Which we did with the tape. We've now removed the tape. So the next stage now, Sean, is to go around and retape this, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to protect this so we don't get any, when we're top coating, we don't get any bleed onto the other top coat, because top coat, as we've mentioned before, will peel off.
Exactly.
And we're going to have a nice neat line and a nice edge between the non-slip surfaces.
Lovely. So right, I'll get the top coat ready.
Yes.
And you're going to start taking those?
I am.
We've decanted some of the chippings here into a bucket because it's just easier to handle. We don't want the bottom to drop out the bag in the middle of the roof. So I've got the top coat here. So basically we've knocked up 2 litres of top coat here, which we're going to apply on in a minute, and then it'll be a process and we'll work across those areas together, Sean, won't we?
Yes.
Okay. So
this is where we left off.
Yep. And do you want the knife for cutting your edges? Have you got that?
Knife on.
Yep. No worries. You can use masking tape if it's easier.
So when I apply this tape, I'm just going to leave a little edge there.
So if you're doing this system, Sean, with the granules, either exposed or encapsulated, is there anything you need to watch out for? I mean, would you do this on a really hot day?
I tend not to, because what you really want is the granules to sink into that top coat and really adhere. And if it goes off too quickly, then the chances are that some of the granules might not take, and of course they'll just wash off your roof or sweep off your roof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very, very difficult to repair an area if you've got a bare area, isn't it?
It is very, very difficult,
so you want to kind of get it in one go.
With an encapsulated edge, and it looks awful. So it might even be worth, under circumstances, reducing the amount of catalyst or changing the catalyst to give you more working time.
Yeah.
So
and the top coat that we're actually doing in the field area now is our top coat that we would have used anyway, so this hasn't cost us any more material, has it?
No, absolutely.
Just the cost of the granules, and I suppose the time
yes.
for the taping up to make it look nice and
And of course you can use a different colour on your edges if you wanted to, you know, on these edges, so you can, you can still have a change of colour if you want. It doesn't matter what top coat resin you use.
So we've got our roller ready, which I'll just put on a short extension pole there. We've got our granules ready there. So we're still at 14 degrees, so we're basically, for our 2 litres there, as we said, we're going to go at 2%. So we would be using 40 millilitres of catalyst. I'm just getting that ready in the catalyst dispenser. So pretty much as soon as Sean is ready with those tapes, we can start. So I'm going to apply the top coat, Sean, and you're going to granulate?
Yes, I'll granulate if you want to just, and we apply it at a normal rate.
Normal rate, yeah, half a litre per square metre. Yeah.
That's it.
So there we go. Again, reapplied our tapes. And again, because this is an example that we laminated earlier on today, we can go straight onto this.
Yes.
Because it's within that 24 hours old. Obviously, if you're outside of your 24 hours, you want to think about rebasing.
Absolutely, yes. You're dead right there, yeah.
So,
okay, here we go.
So we've got our catalyst there into our top coat. And then we're going to give that a really good stir up. literally take off any excess so that we don't get drips all over the surface. Literally get my roller in there now, gives me the opportunity to get a nice good stir around, and we're saturating that roller nicely. So I come onto here, making sure that the roller is nice and tight onto the pulp, and then literally nice amount down, not too thick. Just taking that onto the edge of those tapes, which we're going to remove in a minute, aren't we?
That's it. We're going to fill in all this edge, so we just want to go over the edge, so we're not missing any bits of it. And in fact, if you go slightly onto the tape, it shows you that you're going up to the edge. It's nothing like missing a bit, and it'll be won't be a nice straight edge then.
Again, making sure just onto those tapes. I'm going to come across a little bit further.
So, I'm going to wait till you've done a nice area, because what I do not want to do is start putting any chippings down where you're laying the resin, because what will happen is then you'll have an encapsulated line and a ridge between the non-slips.
So we're kind of happy with that.
Absolutely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to almost level dash the roof. So we call it feeding the chickens, as you can see why, because we're spreading this over. We don't want to see any bald areas at all.
I'm just literally getting this all top coated ready for shawl.
And that's so you can see I'm actually putting it down quite thick in certain areas, and it's not a problem. What I don't want to do is have it too thin, because it will show up as a bald area. Like Elton John.
So there we go, just literally doing this next area, which is going to be the encapsulated version. I'll take my top coat off here. As we said earlier, keeping those stripes nice and straight. And of course a lot of that is going to be swept up when that's all cured and can go back in the bucket or the bag and use again next time, Sean, can't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So what we would do is sweep it all up first before we peel the tapes, because when we peel the tapes up there'll be quite a chunky bits of top coat come up because we spread it on there. So I think we're covered there.
Yep.
But if I get to the top of the roof and I've got a whole bucket, might as well just spray it all over.
A little bit just through there maybe, that's lovely.
So that's the kind of bits with.
So there you go, so that's a nice covering there. We know that's going to, bit of weight, it's going to sit in that though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm throwing it right into it, like so. Lovely. So now, Andy's going to work this now in to provide our encapsulate. So we don't need as much on here. So what I'm going to do is going to start spreading it. In fact, you can vary the amount of degree of non-slip by the amount that you're going to put in.
And now I can literally start rolling that in. I'm actually pushing those down into that base layer of top coat, and
that's it.
There we
I
go.
think that's a nice non-slip area.
And if I need to top up the resin from the bucket, I can do that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But that's absolutely fine. Yeah. There's just a little bit there. Just needs to work in a little bit.
There is it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Look at that.
So
now, when Andy's finished that, he's got a nice non-slip surface. And we'll just have another check around this one, make sure we're 100% happy with that.
a little bit there where it's a bit thick, so I can actually move it around. I can see now my roller is actually starting to get a little bit saturated there. But that's not bad. So now, once they're all encapsulated in, I can literally
Even it all out.
even it all out. How's that looking from your side, Sean?
Yeah, it's looking really good, really good. So as I say, you want to work your way now. So once you've finished one panel, you can then go on. Likewise with this, you work your way around the roof until you get to your exit point.
Yep. So at that point, it's just a case now of letting that dry off.
Letting it cure, and then we'll be back up in an hour or so, or half an hour, depending how quickly this goes off.
Yep.
And then we'll peel all the tape off, sweep all the excess, and show you the final result.
Excellent.